That's right. You read the title correctly. I think, personally, that Battlefield 2042 is a complete and utter train wreck. I personally believe that this game needed another year of development. And I'm going to go into the reasons why. But I will start with some positives. The few that there are, I will give you the positives that I have found playing Battlefield 2042. So strap in, folks. It's about to be a wild ride. Positives. Let's talk positives to start off. There's very few of them in my humble opinion. I think that the gunplay is okay. Movement is relatively responsive. Aside of the fact that there are numerous objects to get stuck on, but that is just geometry. That doesn't, that's not a knock against the movement. That is just the map's got a lot of stuff in them. Well, I got some stuff to say on that one here in a moment. But I think the movement feels pretty good. Weapon handling feels pretty good for the most part. And generally, the game plays, and I air quote this, all right. My second positive, the game looks nice. I think the graphics look pretty good when it's not hitching and lagging every 4 seconds, and when it's not bugging out, it looks relatively nice. I also just like the overall concept of the game. I think the concept's pretty cool. I like what's going on. Now, I will kind of counter my own point by saying I really hope they add environmental hazards that are just more than tornadoes. The tornado is already, frankly, stale. It is very stale. It's very boring. And in most cases, it is not good. And I know that's a negative, but I'm just hear me out for a second. Because I think that they can do really cool environmental hazards, dangerous lightning storms, hailstorms. They can do all sorts of cool stuff. So I'm hoping in the future that they do add more of that variety. I hope there's more variety to the storms we can encounter in some future maps. Because I think the concept, global climate crisis, and I think all that is pretty cool. I think they've got a cool setting here, and so on and so forth. Alright, now it is time to utterly lambaste this game. I said that this game needed another year of development, and I absolutely mean that. This game runs like absolute shit. Even after the patch update, it runs like crap. I'm on an Xbox Series X, and this game just runs terribly. I mean, it's lagging, glitching, hit registration is terrible on console. From what I've seen from the folks on the PC side of things, it looks like it runs better on PC, but that has always been Battlefield. The PC has always been the better, the more favored platform for Battlefield for years, so that's fine, that's whatever. But it runs terribly on an Xbox Series X. My hit registration is awful, and I am often killed by super bullets. And I mean often. Very often. There is times where I've lit someone up with multiple rounds and then just died to one bullet. No hits on my side. I just dropped dead. So we're already off to a great start. I have been playing in the early access. I had the 10-hour trial period because I was not spending more than the $70 I was forced to spend to get the next generation edition. So that's fantastic. And I just can't fathom that this was the game they decided to put out with this many bugs, this many glitches, and just generally awful performance. Now, with performance issues, I will counter myself again. These can be fixed. These issues can be addressed, and they can be fixed. But for the launch, it's not great. It's not great. Next up, I want to cover the fact that it just feels like there's no content in this game. There's none. You got Conquest, which Conquest is terrible in this. In my opinion, Conquest is miserable. In fact, Conquest was so bad, just getting mowed down, just trying to go from objective to objective, because the maps are so ungodly large that was getting killed by snipers and DMRs from PC players. I actually had to turn off my crossplay so that I could actually move from one objective to the next. And before people come in, that's why there's vehicles, that's why the vehicles, get good, scrub, whatever. There's nothing you can do about a PC player 100, 200 meters out who just picks you off with a headshot, or a Jeep or a hovercraft, for that fact, shows up and just annihilates you while you're walking in the middle of nowhere. That has happened so many times. Now, I'm going to cover crossplay for a second. Crossplay is great, but Xbox has an issue where I cannot go into my settings and turn off, let's say, PC crossplay and just play with PlayStation users. Microsoft forces you to go into your Xbox settings and turn off all crossplay. You either get crossplay with everybody or no crossplay. That is Microsoft's decision. I would love to play with PlayStation users, and kind of expand things. But PC players have just a tremendous advantage. Just an absolutely phenomenal advantage. Good for them. I'm happy for them. And I am going to make the conscious decision to not drive myself insane and just turn crossplay off. And it has been a better experience for that. I will also say with crossplay off, I have no problem finding matches. I queue up and load into matches just as quickly as when I had crossplay on. For anybody who's watching this that was also considering turning off crossplay, you will find matches, no problem. Alright, so weapon and weapon balancing. If you've played this game at all, you would know that it's all about DMRs and the PP29. Because why that submachine gun is just so disgustingly powerful and I get one shot by it all the time, I don't know. Or I'm picked off by DMRs constantly. And up until I turned off crossplay, I was killed by snipers across the map every 6.5 seconds. So, I don't know what's going on. It's terrible that the game just launched and we've already got the weapon that if you're not using it, if you don't use it, you lose it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's frustrating, it's stupid, and they need to fix that quickly. And yet again, I want to touch on map design, because I believe that the maps are not well designed. They're huge, and this makes weapons like DMRs the logical choice. It makes DMRs the logical choice because the maps are just so egregiously huge with no cover. I'm often spending so much time running between objectives just to get within eyesight of the objective and picked off by a DMR. It's not fun. It's not like a weapon like the PBX-45 is automatically at a disadvantage, just being a submachine gun with limited range, but just trying to get into close quarters on some of the objectives that are close quarters is extremely difficult, because you're just going to get picked off trying to get to the objective. And I know you can call in vehicles when you can call in vehicles, because I've noticed most of the time when I go in to call in a vehicle, they're already taken up, they're already used up. So that's a bit of a frustration. You have kind of an off-kilter weapon design, and also I'll just briefly touch on this. Very few weapons, mind you. 22 to start the game, that is not a lot of choice here, so that's why you're going to get killed by the same two guns over and over and over again, because DICE kind of dropped the ball on that one. But with the level design, it's all about long range. It's all about long range. And it's disappointing. And that's going to bring me to my next point. I want to circle back around to game modes. One, I don't play Battle Royale style games. I just don't like them. I don't think they're good. It's just not my cup of tea, so I will not be touching Hazard Zone, which there's nothing there to draw me in anyways. But Portal. I want to touch on Portal for a second. which in its first day of launch in early access, they already had to cut all XP. You cannot earn like any XP playing Portal because farmers ruined it immediately. So if you want to play just team deathmatch, let's just say there's just a regular, someone's like, hey, it's just a team deathmatch server on all the various maps. You will get no XP. You get nothing. You get no joy and no happiness. So you get to struggle with everybody else in the big modes because you only get 2 modes to play, because Portal, which was supposed to, which is the developer's lazy way of saying, hey, we want the community to fill in the rest of the gaps for us because this game is horribly underdeveloped. You're not even allowed to have team deathmatch. Like, why didn't the devs even put in the option for team deathmatch and domination for players who maybe just want to help level up their guns or do something like that? You don't even get those options because it is on the community. It is on the players to make those modes because the devs are just lazy. They're just lazy. And this is what we got. You know what I'm saying? Like, you technically only have like 3 modes in the entire game, and one of them doesn't even reward you with anything. Now, it's fine if that's what you want to play. Like, if you're having fun, please, by all means. Like, I don't want to, like, shit on your parade and just rain on your parade or anything. Like, if you're having fun, that's fine. But I'm someone that wants to level up my stuff. I want to have, I want to get the attachments for my guns. I want to work on getting the tier 1 camo. I want to do stuff like that. And that to me is fun. That's where I find some of my fun, is like unlocking things. And leave it to the players to immediately ruin that for the rest of everybody else. So that is just fantastic. And now I want to briefly touch on the specialists. This is already, we're beating a dead horse here. I think the specialists are stupid. I think they're a bad call, and all they are is a scheme to monetize Battlefield like Call of Duty Warzone. That is all it is. It is an excuse to sell skins, and that is all it is. There's nothing. The specialists add nothing and detract from the experience entirely. I don't get revived nearly as much. Nobody really throws out med packs, and everybody just plays selfishly. Now, I'm using Boris right now. I would like to get tier 1 with Boris. I think I like Boris's idea, but man, from the beta till now, they did nothing to improve Boris. He is miserably bad. He is terrible. And when you get to, first of all, like, I understand, like, you don't want this to be too overpowered. You don't want the turret to be too strong. But damn, it could shoot people a little bit faster when you're not on top of it. Because if you're not on top of it, it's basically not going to shoot anything. But, a lot of the operators are either so good that they're the only picks, or they're so bad you don't even want to use them. So it's like, what's the point? And then I would like to cover the unlock system. I want to cover this real fast. The operators are bad. That's one thing. I don't like the unlock system. And by unlocks, I don't mean like, hey, you get kills and then the kills unlock your attachments. That's fine. I do want to say that the attachment system is bad. The attachments are just stupid, lackluster, and uninspired. They really did the bare minimum that they humanly could for the attachment system. Like, literally, they did the bare minimum that they could do. Where you have games like newer Call of Duty games that have the gunsmith, where you can customize all these elements of your guns, and Battlefield decided to just do, you can slap some attachments on there. Some of them do the exact same thing as other ones, and there you go. It just looks slightly different from another one. Cool. Weapon camos. There's not even really a grind for weapon camos, because your weapon camos are universally unlocked through levels. You don't even, it's not even like when you're playing with a gun, you're unlocking a bunch of camos. You essentially get 30 kills, you get your hex camo, which looks better than any of the ones you're going to unlock through level, and then that's it. And then you have to get 1,200 kills to get your tier 1. And then there's nothing in between. You get some pins for your player card that nobody gives a shit about. There's really no good grind. And in terms, I'll bring it back around for Boris. You need to get 60,000 turret damage with Boris to get his tier 1 outfit. 60,000. You are lucky to get any damage in a round with Boris. Any damage at all. They have absolutely just shit all over previous Battlefield games. They really took a massive step back for this game. This is in the wrong direction. Like, the absolute critically wrong direction. Now, I am myself a longtime Battlefield fan. I've played every Battlefield since Battlefield 3, and there's been varying degrees of enjoyment from various games. This one is the roughest. I don't know if you guys remember, but EA was actually sued by the Better Business Bureau for releasing an unfinished product when Battlefield 4 came out. That is a true fact. And I can't believe that this is the standard for with which games get released nowadays. In incomplete, just laggy glitch fests, and we need to stop saying, well, they can fix it. No, it shouldn't release like this. Games used to release and be good. It used to be a complete package out the gate, and instead we get messes, laggy, just crapshoots. And from a development team like DICE, which has, granted and admittedly, a bit of a hit or miss past with game releases, they're a studio that can do better. And I believe in them. I believe that they can do better. But they are also being published by EA, and that's a topic of discussion for another time. Do I think this game can be fixed? Sort of. I think that there's some fundamental issues with the game that cannot and will not be fixed because it is the decisions that DICE, quote unquote, decided to do. Specialists, and just some of the other decisions, I do not think are fantastic. I think, this has gone in the wrong direction, and I think that the Battlefield franchise is forever changed, and not in a good way. I think we've taken a step to be more like competitors instead of Battlefield keeping its identity. It's trying to be hip with the times, and instead of being kind of an oasis, in the field of games where everybody's just trying to do the same crap over and over and over again, Battlefield decided to stray away from what people loved about it. And its identity's still kind of there, but it's like a 14-year-old kid who doesn't know who they are. You know what I mean? So, here's hoping that eventually this game gets turned into something worth the player's time. But I appreciate you stopping by the video. If you've made it this far, thank you. Leave a like, a dislike, and comment. Subscribe for more. And I will say this. If you came on this video and you've made it this far, if you've made it to the end, and you feel the desire to leave a nasty comment, I'm also going to say thank you. Because you're helping me in the YouTube algorithms. That's all you're doing by leaving me dislikes and negative comments. You're helping me out. And you showed up to my video to leave those comments, and you left me a view. And I'll tell you, the best thing you can do if you disagree with someone is not leave a comment or don't leave a dislike. Anyways, everybody, hope you have a wonderful day, and I hope to catch you in the next video.